Hello, beautiful people. Thank you so much for tuning in, watching, and listening. This is going to be the March 2022 reading for the zodiac sign of Taurus. Welcome, Taurus. If you have not done so already, please do subscribe to my YouTube channel. That helps me greatly, and you'll be notified when I post future videos. Also, as always, my readings are very intuitive, so I'll provide you any intuitive messages that I receive, as well as the meaning of the tarot cards. And I do recommend you check out your sun, moon, and rising just to get a full picture of everything that's going on. With that being said, let's go ahead and jump in and get started. In column number 1, we're going to take a look at what's wrapping up and coming to a close for you. In column number 2, we're going to take a look just general March, what's coming. Then we're going to do a money column, a love column, and in our 5th and final column, we're going to do a message from our future self or spirit guides. We're also going to do 3 yes or no questions, a healing note, and a healing crystal. But let's jump in and see what we've got. The first card we have is time. What I'm getting, Taurus, is that things maybe have been taking a little bit more time than you thought they would here recently. But let's see what messages I can give you here. The first card we have is the Empress. The Empress is a really good card. This is a card of creation, a card of abundance. You've had a lot of money readings recently, Taurus, so I'm not super surprised to see this. I think you're just in general moving into this area where you've created much more abundance for yourself. This could also be a card of fertility. So some of you could also be finding out that you're going to be having a baby. Your baby could be due soon. Or you could be a grandparent as well. The next card is the High Priestess. The High Priestess is a card of trusting your intuition. So likely in these last few weeks, you've really had to rely heavily on your intuition and kind of trust your gut through the situations or kind of day-to-day for these last few weeks. The next card we have is the Eight of Pentacles. This is a card of mastering your craft, enjoying your employment. This is a card also acknowledging that you've been working really hard. But let's see what other kind of messages that I can give you. Things that are wrapping up and coming to a close for you. We have the Judgment card at the top. The Judgment card is clarity. It's about living your life's purpose. So I think this new path of creation and abundance is really saying that you're going the right direction. You're doing the right things in life for yourself, Taurus. The next card we have is the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles is another card of fertility. So again, some of you could have been finding out that you're pregnant. Possibly a family member of yours is pregnant. You could be a grandparent, or you could be coming up on a due date possibly. This is a very resourceful card too. Again, there's been a lot of money energy for you recently, Taurus. So it makes sense that we see this because, of course, when you have more money, you have the ability to be more resourceful. And that's on top of the High Priestess, which is really just trusting your intuition. So make sure that you continue to make these money moves, but be thoughtful and trust your gut feeling. Then at the bottom, we have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles is a card of waiting. You see this person planted these pentacles, and now they're waiting for them to grow. I would say that there's something that you've been working really hard towards, but it's maybe just not happening as fast as you would like it to happen, which would make sense with the Time card. Things are maybe just not moving quite as quick as you would like. Now let's move into our next column, which is what's coming for March. We also have the card ready but waiting. So possibly a little bit more waiting for you. There seems to be something that you're working towards, Taurus, but it's just not happening as quickly as you would like it to happen. But let's see what messages we've got here. The first card we have is the Two of Swords. The Two of Swords is about having to make a decision, and sometimes it could feel like a compromise. We're going to clarify this a little bit more. My guess is that, again, things are just not moving quite as quickly as you would like them to, hence that feeling of compromise that you might have, Taurus. The next card that we have is the King of Cups. The King of Cups is a card of being very tolerant, which again makes sense because I think things are moving slower, but you need to make sure that you stay persistent and keep pushing towards what you want. Be tolerant as you maybe across small obstacles or things are slightly delayed from what you anticipated. Then the next card we have is the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is an interesting card. It's like the knight in shining armor. It's Prince or Princess Charming. It's very romantic and very proposal-like. So for some of you, there could definitely be some new love this month. It could even be a new friendship, or oddly enough, you might be getting a new pet too. This seems to be like a really deep, genuine relationship that's coming in. Some of you could be getting engaged or married. This could also be a business proposal too. But let's clarify and see what messages I can give you. The first clarifying card we have is the Three of Wands. The Three of Wands is a card of expansion. Again, I do feel like for some of you, your family is definitely growing. It could also be a card of travel. For some of you, your travel plans may have been delayed. Maybe that's the thing that you've been waiting for. But it's also a card of teamwork, so teamwork could be heavily coming into play for the month of March. That could also be connected to this new person, love interest, pet coming down here and coming in as well. And the next card we have is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is very reliable, and keyword here, very patient. So with the King of Cups, we were just talking about how you need to be tolerant and patient. These two cards are really echoing each other, that you need to continue to be tolerant and patient. We know that you're ready, but there possibly could be a little bit more waiting for you, Taurus. The next card we have is the Hermit. The Hermit is a card about going within for clarity. You see this light on the card. This is the light that's within you. With the Hermit, we want to make sure that we're on our own personal quest, that we're doing what we want, doing what feels good to you. So as this new relationship comes in, make sure it aligns with who you are and who you want to be. So find somebody or something or animal, again, that is kind of feeding your higher self, that you're connected, you're kind of on that same journey together. And definitely trusting your intuition in the month of March, because that's a major part of the Hermit card. The next row, we're going to take a look at money. So this is anything related to money. This could be your job, career, finances, businesses you run, investments you have. And let's see what kind of messages we get here. The first card we have is the Knight of Pentacles. The Knight of Pentacles is very reliable, very patient, very hardworking. I know reliable, tolerant, patient has come up a couple times for you, but I think this is again more so an acknowledgement of how hard you've been working on something. We touched on that a tiny bit earlier. The Knight of Pentacles though is really coming through as hard work. So definitely a lot of you have been working hard lately and will probably continue to do so. It is good quality work too, and I feel like for some of you it is appreciated. The next card we have is the Ten of Swords. This is a card of low feelings. You see this person is laying down flat and all these swords are stuck into them. I would caution you, because it seems like you have been busy and you've been working hard, to make sure that you're not burning out. Or don't let things bother you. You want to kind of like imagine yourself with a bubble around you and letting things kind of bounce off of you. Otherwise, it can really wear on your energies. Then at the bottom here, we have the Seven of Wands. The Seven of Wands is like having to defend yourself. Some of you could feel like you've had to defend your work lately. I want to clarify that a little bit more though, because I feel like that's ending. Maybe there was like a coworker that you weren't getting along with, or you weren't seeing eye to eye with your boss. But again, that feels more like old energy. So let's kind of see where this takes us. We have the Hangman. The Hangman is kind of stagnant. It means that things aren't really moving. I do think that some of you will continue to be busy through the month of March is the message that's coming through. You will kind of have to continue to be heads down, working hard. You'll continue to be that reliable person, but I don't see a lot of shift in your workload for this upcoming month. So those of you that are busy will likely stay pretty busy. The next card that we have is the Lovers card. This is a card of partnership. So again, I do think that there was like some sort of butting heads with a coworker. It could be like burnout. my advice to you here is that it feels like you are on a really good supportive team. So if you have too much work going on or you have too many commitments, make sure that you rely on others, because again, the Lover's card is a great card of partnership. So I think you have more support at work than you think you do. So don't overdo it, because the help you need is there. At the bottom, we have the Five of Pentacles. This is a card sometimes of worry. I again do think that people like could have been questioning your work, or maybe even you are questioning some of your work, Taurus, and that's resulting in this worry. But the Five of Pentacles can also be a card of isolation. And I don't mean isolation in maybe the standard way that you think of it, but this could be like saying isolate your feelings, or again being like that bubble and letting things bounce off of you. Isolate yourself in that sense. It's only a competition if you choose to compete with other people, which you don't need to do. You can just focus on you, is the message that I want to give you there. Now let's move into our next column, which is anything related to love. This could be friends, family, relationships, children, again, anything love related. The first card we have is the Knight of Wands. The Knight of Wands is very free-spirited, very creative. I'm going to obviously clarify this card, but for me, this is like you feel like you have more flexibility, whether you're single or in a relationship. And I'm trying to conceptualize that to what I mean better. I feel like in the past things maybe felt restricted, where you could only do X, Y, Z. You're just like in this period where you could really do whatever you want. Again, if you're single or in a relationship, you just have a lot more freedom and flexibility. Of course, we'll clarify that and see if I can give you a little bit more clear of a message there. The next card we have is the Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is a card of isolation. Isolation has come up a couple of times for you. This could be a time for really like kind of stepping back and taking care of you. That doesn't necessarily mean you need to leave a relationship, but make sure that you have you time going forward in the month of March here. Then at the bottom we have the Nine of Cups. The Nine of Cups is a card of wishes coming true. It's a card of abundance. It's a card of good health. I do think that you could be getting good news regarding somebody's health in your family, but also this is saying your relationship is what you've been wishing for. Or if you're single, you can find this relationship that you've been wishing for. Let's clarify these messages though and see what other information I can give you. We have the Nine of Pentacles. This is a card of luxury, but it's also a card of like self-sufficiency and it sounds weird, but solo pleasures is associated with this. So this is really about taking time for yourself. We were talking about that with the Eight of Swords. Sorry, the dogs were barking there for a second. But this is about taking time for yourself this month, whether you're single or in a relationship. And maybe you hadn't had the freedom to do that before where you do now. So make sure you have some you time regardless of your relationship status. The next card we have is the Page of Cups. The Page of Cups is an interesting card. It can mean things like volunteer work, but it is also an indicator of new love. So keep new love in mind. For those of you that are single, there could be a new love interest on the front. For those of you that are single and want to be in a relationship, this card is paired with the Eight of Swords, and the Eight of Swords can also be a card of self-imposed restrictions is the way that they technically say it. So like if you want to be in a relationship and you're not in a relationship, it's saying that you have the ability to go and be in the relationship that you want. So if new love is what you're seeking, make sure you kind of set yourself free to do that. Again, we were talking about setting ourselves free there. The next card that we have is the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is a new project, new inspiration. It's really about being able to create. It's very creative. We were talking about with the Nine of Cups, you can really have whatever relationship you want. You have the ability to create any relationship that you want. So now let's move into our fifth and final column, which is a message from our future self or spirit guides. This is something to carry into the month of March with you. We have the card balance. I think for a lot of you, you'll find some new balance. It's kind of like that perfect balancing act. If you think about the Temperance card, they're like pouring the water between the cups. You see these people are like perfectly holding hands, leaning away from each other. It's about having that perfect, fine balance. And I think in general, life is just going to come back into balance for you, Taurus. But let's see what messages I can give you here. The first card that we have is the Sun card. The Sun card is a card of material happiness. It's very joyous. And also is a successful outcome. It makes sense. When we have this perfect balance in life, we do feel a lot happier. There's a lot more joy. There's less up and downs, and it's more consistent, happy days. Glad to see the Sun here for you. So again, I'm not sure what's necessarily causing this balance, but it is going to be quite healthy and quite happy. If you look at this card too, we again have two perfectly even people leaning together. The card is very symmetrical, so a card of balance as well with the Two of Cups. But the Two of Cups is a partnership card, a proposal, marriage card, so very much so a love card. One thing that I mentioned earlier too was partnership. Like, it seems like there is a new person coming in where it's love interest, coworker, boss, friend. It could even be a furry friend, a new pet for some of you, but a really great relationship. Maybe this relationship is what's going to be causing some of this new joy and happiness and balance. The next card we have is the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is a very fast-paced change. You look how quickly the horse is moving and how quickly the rider is happening. So it could be like this person or coworker or boss or friend or love interest or animal like genuinely comes out of the blue for you. So let's take a look now and clarify this and see what other messages I can give you. We just had the Knight of Wands in the previous column. It's right there for you. This is again like being set free. With this balance, you'll be set free to be able to be happy and joyous again. Some of you might not have been feeling that lately, so it'll be a really good release and a step into a really positive direction for you. The next card we have is the Magician. This is very focused, creative energy. Creative keeps coming up for you a lot as well. But this is a card of turning your visions into reality. So this is having whatever you want. Maybe it is new friend, new love interest, new pet. But you have the ability to create this future that you want, that's balanced, that's happy, that's joyous. And at the bottom here, we have the Two of Wands. The Two of Wands is oftentimes waiting. So I feel like, again, this is something that we were waiting for that may now finally be coming to you. So this is like saying the waiting is coming to the end. You also have the World here. Having the world in your hands means that you're able to really have whatever you want. You can create anything you want with a Magician. You have the world in your hands. So looking good overall for March for you. Love, balance, happiness, joy, and keep staying persistent as you may have to wait a little longer on some things. But at this point in time, we're going to do 3 yes or no questions from the Gypsy Witch fortune telling deck. If you don't have 3 questions in mind, you can pause this video and think of them. Apparently these cards are the ones you're meant to have that just dropped all over the table. So let's start there. Question number 1 is the 4 of Diamonds. This is number 27 card. Conveniently, it's a dog. I really do think some of you are getting a new pet, but that's going to be a yes for you. Question number 2 is the 5 of Diamonds. This is number 28 card. This is also a yes. And for question number 3, we have the 9 of Hearts. This is number 16 card. That's also a yes. So yes, yes, yes for you, Taurus. Let's take a look at your healing crystals. We're going to pull a card from the Healing Stones deck. Keep this crystal with you for the month of March and it'll help support you. Put it in your pocket, put it on your nightstand, keep it on your desk at work. You have citrine. Citrine is a very much so a money crystal. Not surprised because you have had a ton of money readings lately, Taurus. But this gives you a new lease on life. It helps with self-worth. It gives you new joy for life. It encourages you to follow new paths. Now let's do a message from our healing notes deck. We can always use more healing. Your card says, even the darkest night will end and the sun will rise. Thank you so much, Taurus, for tuning in, watching, and listening. Please do like, comment, subscribe, and let me know how this video resonates with you. Again, if you subscribe, you'll be notified when I post future videos, and that helps me very greatly. Also, if you feel inclined, I did include my Venmo in the comments box if you'd like to make a donation. But thank you, Taurus, and have a fabulous March.